Hello, moviegoers, and welcome to another edition of Have You Seen It? I'm your host, Denise. And before I get into my review, I have to tell you who my favorite actor is this week. My favorite actor this week is the incredible Bette Davis. And the movie clip that I chose just to give you an idea of how great an actress she was and how she could throw shade so quickly that if you blinked, you'd miss it. The movie is all about Eve. And in this clip, I had to run it back twice because I couldn't believe what she said. But what she said was simply, she was having a dinner party and, she had invited guests to come to this dinner party. And a guest came to her dinner party. And when she approached this gentleman, this is what she said. "I distinctly remember crossing you off my guest list. What are you doing here?" Can you imagine saying that to a person who came to your house or an event that you were hosting and you specifically scratched them off, but they showed up anyway, and this is what you told them? The shade was done masterfully. So Bette Davis is my favorite actor this week. All right, folks, my review comes from Netflix, and it stars Charlize Theron and Taron Egerton. You may remember Taron Egerton from the movie Rocket Man, where he played the role of Elton John in his biopic movie. So in this film, Charlize Theron's character, her name is Sasha. She is an experienced mountain climber. You know, those rock climbers that climb mountains to the point where they sleep on the cliff, like on the edge of the mountain. They're so good. They have the equipment to really harness themselves in like a small pup tent, and they can sleep there and they get up in the morning and they clip themselves, to the mountain and, continue their trek, whether they're going up or down. Well, anyway, she was in Norway with her partner, and they were nestled on this cliff, and the view was just spectacular, where they were. So once they got up in the morning, they, hooked themselves up and they, started their descent, and tragedy strikes. And so fast forward, she kind of gets her sea legs back, because this is what she does. This is what she loves. She's very adventurous. She has climbed numerous mountains and has done so in so many different places. But now she's back at it. But she is now in Australia, and she is going to climb a specific mountain in a particular region in, let's say, a national park type area. Okay. So she arrives there, and on her way, she makes a stop at a gas station, and there are some troublesome gentlemen kind of harassing her in this little gas station store. And she's, just kind of ignoring them, so forth. And, Charlize Theron is absolutely gorgeous. So, they're just kind of messing with her. But when she's ready to leave, her GPS kind of goes wonky. And so Taron Egerton's character, he's at the gas station as well. So she kind of asks him, how do you get to this specific spot? This is where I'm going. And he asks her kind of like a question, you want to get there the best way, or you just want to follow the map? And she's like, listen, I just want to get there, and so he points out another area on the map where he's basically telling her, well, if you start here, you will get to your destination kind of quicker, or you'll have less obstacles, so to speak, and it's a quicker drive. So she is driving to this specific area in her, it's got like a little VW camper vehicle, sort of. So she's got everything she needs. She knows what she's doing. She's very skilled, and she is going, once she gets to this specific place, she is going to kayak down the, rushing, waters of this particular place. There's some mountainous regions there of which that she can climb as well, but this is a kayak adventure for her. So in this film, you see the skill with which our character can navigate these rushing waters in her kayak. And, the kayak is, moving fast and ducking and dodging and, going over the rapids. And it's very exhilarating experience for her. And so she camps out, but the next day she realizes that, hey, my backpack is missing, and my clothes, something that she hung up to dry, whatever, are missing. So she's kind of weirded out by that. And so you fast forward, during the night before, those same thugs, if you will, who were menacing her at the gas station, kind of show up. And she's kind of creeped out by them, but they are there to kind of, scare her a little bit, but they eventually go on about her business. So of course, the next morning, that's her first thought. This is who it is. But you fast forward and you find out that she runs into the other gentleman that gave her the directions. And so she finds out that he's got her stuff. And so she's kind of creeped out by it, but he's got this very, very thick accent. And so when I was watching the movie, I really had to hone into what he was saying, because the accent that he was using, I guess the Australian accent, was very, very, very thick at times. And so she's kind of creeped out by him, and he tells her that, okay, yeah, I got your stuff. Here it is. I got your phone, all this kind of stuff. But now, if you want to get to where you're going, or you want to get out of here, I'm going to give you basically a head start, and then I'm on your ass. And if I find you, it's not going to be pretty. So, of course, she all tails it out of there. And so now you have a cat and mouse situation where he is literally chasing her and hunting her like she is his prey. And so this goes on for good, portion of the movie. And in trying to escape and get away from him, again, she's got these kayaking skills. So there are times where she's got to kayak her way, away from him. And then she's got to scale mountain. She's got to hide here. She's got to climb this, and she's got to scale this and that and the other. And so once she is able to kind of hide from him for a moment, just for a short time, she comes across something extremely creepy and gruesome. And so she's like, what the heck am I looking at? And then am I going to become what I am now viewing? So that is the premise of the movie. He's basically just hunting her for a ritual type experience. This is something that is in his head. He lives in this area or spends quite a lot of time in this particular, national park, if you will, and he's doing some really creepy, crazy things. And so that is our movie. I'm not going to tell you what happens between them, but you got a woman who's minding her own business, having a vacation, kind of like a rebirth after the tragedy that happened with her partner some time ago. She feels like, hey, I can do this again and continue. But then you got this weirdo who is, stalking me, and I'm trying to just mind my business. So there you have it. Apex is the movie on Netflix. All right, folks, I'm going to jump into my Nailed It. And my Nailed It this week is the movie Indecent Proposal, which starred Demi Moore, Woody Harrelson, and Robert Redford. And the scene that I chose for my Nailed It is the scene titled, Did You Like It? And this is the scene where Demi Moore's character and her husband, Woody Harrelson, are in their kitchen at home, and he is grilling her on the sexual escapade that she had with Robert Redford's character. And so he's asking her these questions, bam, bam, one right after the other, badgering her. And she's basically saying, look, it was just sex. It was no big deal. It's over. We're done. It happened, and let's move on. But he is just grilling her so bad that no matter what her response is, he isn't going to accept her answers, because basically he was just an insecure dude who, although y'all agreed that she would have a one-night sexcapade with a millionaire so that you all could get some money, but now that it's happened and you want to question her, and to the point where she finally says, yeah, it was good. And then he goes ballistic even more. So in that particular scene, he made me so angry when I saw it at the movie. And when he left the house and left her there and she's crying, I felt so bad for her, because she just couldn't win no matter what she said. So that is my Nailed It. That scene where you got an insecure husband asking stupid questions, and then you leave your wife because she gave you the answer that you wanted to hear in the first place. All right, folks, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And remember, I am available on BlueSky at HYSI. All right, moviegoers, you know what to do. Until next week, I need you to see a movie, because I'm going to see a movie. Until next week, bye-bye.